Sohinki. Fuse from Ea and Insomniac Games is a semi-class-based third-person cooperative shooter that has some flashy new weapons and plenty of action. So is Fuse a refreshing take on the third-person shooter, or is it just a dud? Let's find out.
We're in the market for a contact team. Clean operatives with no ties to government. Our mutual friend in Lisbon told us you'd be able to assist.
Our mutual friend should have consulted me before handing you this number.
In Fuse, you play as the elite task force Overstrike 9 in a near-future Earth where humans have discovered an alien element known as Fuse. Predictably, they've found a way to weaponize it into sweet guns that turn people into crystals and cause them to implode. Unfortunately, experimental weaponized Fuse has fallen into the wrong hands, and the CIA has called on you and your squad to hunt it down before an evil organization uses Fuse's power to cause a worldwide human extinction event. As far as the gameplay goes, Fuse plays like pretty much every third-person shooter you've ever played, with the exception of the new weapons and the Leap feature, which allows you to switch between members of your squad on the fly. This function is actually really cool and works extremely fluidly. It made me wish a function like this existed in Mass Effect for controlling squad members, allowing you to fully utilize your team's arsenal. The other novel feature of Fuse, of course, is the weaponry. Each operative in the squad is equipped with a different Fuse-based weapon known as Xenotech. One causes your enemies to implode and can trigger other enemies to do the same. Another freezes your enemies in crystalline form, allowing you to shatter them. Another lights your enemies aflame and skewers them to walls. And the last one is a shield that sends out charges which cause your enemies to explode into blood. Literally, there's pretty much nothing left. My biggest issue with Fuse was that the game really got off to a slow start. The action is typical of third-person shooters, largely cover-based, and there's only so many times you can implode and shatter your enemies before it begins to get old. In fact, I'd say that after the first 20 to 30 minutes of the game, the next several hours are quite boring. As you play through, though, you level your operative skill trees, which give you bonuses to your Xenotech, and after you upgrade your weapons abilities, your characters become twice as fun to play, and the experience is actually relatively enjoyable. Even after your weapons are upgraded, though, Fuse eventually loses its freshness. It combats this by having relatively interesting boss fights at the end of each chapter, but all these boss fights boil down to blowing up a few weak points before ultimately winning. That being said, the boss fights were refreshing when they did occur, as they broke up the monotony of the regular gameplay. A couple other minor complaints include silly animations like when you blow open a wall, pretty sure that wouldn't be an effective way to protect yourself, and AI that isn't always the best. You'll sometimes find yourself waiting a while for your teammates to catch up when you need them to progress.
Let's stick together.
The biggest thing to realize about Fuse, though, is that it's supposed to be a co-op game, and playing Fuse is infinitely more fun with your friends than by yourself. After all, when you're playing by yourself, you have nobody to high-five after chain imploding a group of 6 enemies. Sad. The Leap feature remains active in co-op mode, so if you have less than 4 players, you can freely swap to free ones, which is awesome. If I haven't made it clear, the Leap function was probably my favorite aspect of the mechanics, that and making enemies explode and or implode on themselves. Everything else we've pretty much seen before. All in all, Fuse is a relatively fun third-person shooter that probably won't blow you away, but will offer a reasonable amount of fun if you're into co-op shooters. The Xenotech weapons are novel, but only for a little while, and I honestly wish they had explored more Xenotech options instead of including bland regular guns like the pistol and sniper rifle, as more outlandish weapons might have made Fuse more interesting for longer. I give Fuse a 7 out of 10. For more reviews and video gamey things, subscribe right here to Smosh Games, and for more of me, you can follow me on Twitter @Sohinki or check me out at youtube.com/Sohinki. I'll see you guys next time.